Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on in Chocolate. We've got longtime fools Carl Teal and Keith Spites giving a 1 to 10 rating to a Moneyball rec squarely in their wheelhouse. It's AbbVie, ticker symbol ABBV. Talk about the strength of AbbVie's business, including factors like industry and competition. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Carl's at a 7, Keith, you're at an 8.
Right on, and I think AbbVie has proven that it can successfully navigate a difficult patent cliff. Humira wasn't just AbbVie's top-selling drug for years, it was the top-selling drug in the world for years. But AbbVie was able to significantly reduce its dependence on Humira even before it lost U.S. patent exclusivity in 2023 through some key acquisitions. The company developed 2 successors to Humira that will together generate more revenue this year than Humira did at its peak. The main reason I didn't give AbbVie an even higher score is just the intrinsic risk that's associated with developing new drugs, and there's a potential negative impact of tariffs on pharmaceutical imports to the U.S. if the Trump administration goes ahead with that.
Yeah, I mean, Humira sales at this point are down like 80% from their $21 billion peak in 2022. The company has ridden that out, having a 6.4% decrease in revenue in 2023, and since then it's been growing again, and revenues are actually higher now than they were before it lost Humira exclusivity. So they've done great. They deserve the slightly premium valuation that they have, and they have some really promising things coming up. So they're a solid 7 for me.
For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Carl's at an 8. Keith needs to have the high score, so he's at an 8.5.
Right. I think AbbVie's management deserves kudos for positioning the company for long-term success following Humira's loss of exclusivity. I think Rob Michael was a great choice to take the reins from AbbVie's longtime CEO Rick Gonzalez. That happened last year. My main knock against management is that they used what I personally view as some questionable tactics in fending off biosimilar competition for Humira.
And yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add there. I mean, the company's used acquisition as a big part of its risk strategy. That hasn't always worked out, but they've done pretty solidly with it.
For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Carl's at a 7, Keith, you're at an 8.
AbbVie is highly profitable. Its revenue and earnings are growing. As Carl mentioned, the company generates really solid free cash flow. The main negative is that it does have a lot of debt. Its debt load is around $70 billion or so. That largely came from making multiple acquisitions through the years. But overall, I don't think AbbVie will have any problem servicing its debt.
AbbVie decided in 2019 to acquire Allergan as a way to deal with the Humira cliff, and that did work out really well. It diversified, it smoothed things out, but it did leave them with a fair bit of debt. They're not going to have any problem navigating that, but they do continue to have a lot of amortization that weighs down GAAP earnings, and I gave them a 7.
All right, Carl, let's move on to valuation. How well will AbbVie's stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing. 1 is a lottery ticket.
Yeah, I'm going to put them at the high end of the 5 to 10% range. And some of that's about AbbVie, and some of it is about making a call that just hasn't been true for a long time, which is that I think big pharma might actually outperform the S&P 500 in the next few years. That has not been true over any recent period. And it also assumes that they navigate some kind of scary political unknowns around demands, pricing demands and tariffs. But there's a lot of pessimism right now, and I think that can be an opportunity. And I gave him a safety score of 7.5.
Yeah, Carl and I are really on the same page here, although I do think average total returns of 10% to 15% aren't unrealistic at all for AbbVie. The drag from Humira will decrease, while the contributions from fast-growing products like Skyrizi and Rinvoq will increase. The company is a dividend king, has an attractive yield of 3% that I think will boost its total return and possibly get it into that double-digit territory. My safety score, though, is a 6, just because of the possibility of pipeline setbacks and those tariff threats we've talked about.
Thank you to Keith and to Carl. They've given AbbVie a solid overall score of 7.3 out of 10. Good, but not compelling enough for me to put it on my personal 100-stock watch list. I can only have 100 stocks on Yahoo Finance. And it's short of the 8.0, of course, that would force me to own shares. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is GE Healthcare Technologies. Till then, Fool on. Giving a 1 to 10 rating to a Moneyball rec squarely Let me try again. I was like, you can see I was just losing my trade the whole time. All right, here we go.